Hello, everyone. We hope that you are here and can hear us. We are currently in Brazil in Jean's mom's kitchen. So, if anybody else is here, let us know how we sound. We put some microphones on because there's a giant fan blowing cold air on me because I'm melting. It's hot. um, and Jean might have to jump up and run in a few minutes because we just had family over and they forgot a few things. So he might have to go and unlock the gate, stuff like that, and let him out. But, anyways, we're here. Hello to everyone. It has been officially 1 year of retirement.
I know. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Oh, sound is good? Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. And I'm
Nice
looking
to
at
see
my
you.
phone
Yeah.
because I have to make sure that the sound is good, which is perfect. Thank you very much.
So it's official. Like literally 1 year ago today, we became officially retired. It was my very last day at work, and that was it.
I know. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
It's nice to see you guys here. So, congratulations. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
We have some wine to
We have
celebrate.
some wine.
Cheers to 1 year. And it's been really a great year. I think
Yes.
we've learned a lot of things this year, and we are grateful for so many things this year. But today wasn't just about retirement, right?
Mhm.
Today was really an anniversary of a catalyst that sort of
Made
solidified
us solidify
at
that.
least part of our decision to retire early. So, 7 years ago today, my mom passed away. So we decided that today was going to be our official retirement day. So today is also a big hi to my mom.
Yes. We're going to celebrate Maria's life.
Yep.
And we are, happy that you guys can celebrate with us as well. So
Yeah.
it's a special day.
Because I think these are the things in life that truly make you appreciate what you do have and the people that are in your lives. And it really did for us. I mean, Jean had a very similar situation with his dad, but it really did for us when we lost both of our parents. It was a wake-up call, and we said, this is it. We're not waiting anymore. We're not putting off our life anymore. We're going to live it on our terms and take back control of our time. And that's when we truly did decide to start really hustling towards early retirement.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic anniversary in one respect, but a really sad one in another. However, is it Mother's Day in England? Oh, well, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yeah.
I find it interesting how Mother's Day is different all over the world because it's different here in Brazil too.
Yeah, it's the second. Oh God, I'm gonna really bad now. My mom is gonna slap me on my face, but it's the second Sunday of May.
Oh, so maybe it's the same. One of them is different. Mother's Day or Father's Day is different for Brazil. But happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Tracy, how are you? It's nice to see you here with us.
Yeah. And we do appreciate everybody joining in because, I mean, it's an exciting time, right? We wouldn't be doing this without all of you, to be honest, because all of your feedback, all of your comments really do keep encouraging us to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And we find a lot of inspiration from all of you. So we just want to take a minute to say a huge thank you to all of you for supporting us, not only in this past year, but all throughout our journey.
Yeah.
Over the past 4 years that we've kind of been putting it out there. We really did want to say a huge thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel good.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that we can say that would take away from the joy of last year. This past year for us has been fantastic in so many different ways.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Do we get scared that no one will show up on these? Well, yeah, we do. Sometimes when it doesn't kick in right away, we're like, okay, well, we'll just talk to ourselves here for a few
Yeah,
seconds
I know.
until we know if
It's
there's anybody
always scary.
there.
Yeah. And I was trying to do our best and give you guys like some time, like a heads up of what is going. So, yeah, always take a look in our community tab. So
Mhm.
if you guys go and take a look on our community tab, that's when we try to ask a few questions and at the same time let you guys know of what's going on. So if you can take a look, that would be great. And that's how last weekend, yeah, where were we last week? Oh, last weekend we were in Montevideo in Uruguay. And we thought, I told Christine, we're gonna go and we're gonna go and celebrate this
Milestone.
achievement, this great milestone. And then we thought, okay, let me go and let everybody knows that we are gonna go live, because I mean it was a special moment. We have done this 3 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe this might be our 4th.
Is it the 4th one? Yeah, I
think
don't
so.
know. Single parent fire. Hi, friend. How are you? It's nice to see you here with us. I'm glad that you could make it.
Yeah. Oh, and
I'm
we're
so glad
super
that you could
glad.
make it. Yeah.
And thank you so much. We do appreciate like hearing from all of you guys, and it's lovely to know that whatever comes across is helpful, because sometimes we're like, well, we'll just put it out there and hopefully somebody gets something from it. So
Exactly.
we're extremely happy.
Yeah, but a good time. So which times where we have done, once we actually stopped working, we had a live where it was just a let's celebrate together, and that was one of our first lives that we've had on the channel.
The very first one.
The very first one.
A year ago, yeah.
Yeah. And we had another one, if I'm not mistaken, like around 6 months.
In September,
In September-ish, and here we are again celebrating 1 year. Can you believe it?
At the end of the year, though, too.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So but I think we want to try and do them more often. So I don't know if you guys get anything from the lives, or if you have anything that you would like to have put out on the lives. Let us know. Throw it in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer any questions or address them in the live. I know we've done a few lives with regards to points and miles, and I think there's going to be some more coming up, or at least some more videos about points and miles, because this year in particular, they've really played a huge part in our traveling, because they've saved us a ton of money on flights. But we also want to show everybody how they're saving us money on hotels and stuff too. So not sure if where we might have said this, but just so everybody knows, since the beginning of March, we have been staying exclusive, with the exception of these 2 weeks that we're here in Brazil, exclusively in hotels until the end of May, when we head back to Canada. Excuse me. And then once we hit the road again in August, we are in hotels all the way through until we hit Thailand at the end of October. So hotels are going to be an interesting change for us to see how that plays out, with not only the finances, but also the eating, because that just means if you don't have a kitchen that you can cook in, your expenses are going to go up. But we're planning on hopefully achieving some status that will get us some free, or not free, but food included with our stays. So
yeah, that's nice. I'm curious, how's the quality of audio for those of you who did not get at the beginning of the live? We decided last minute, as always. I told Christine, I gotta see if the quality of audio is good, because we have a fan just over there, which is blowing air. Poor Christine, she's been having a hard time.
I just melt. I don't understand. I look around at everybody in the family, and they're all just sitting there chilling, and I'm like, oh my god, just the sweat is pouring off of me. I don't think my blood has like gotten any cooler.
I know.
I'm still used to northern temperatures. So
yeah. But let me see. Let's wait and see if the quality of audio is good or not.
I think it is. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah. Can't hear the fan? The fan, it sounds amazing. Oh, that's
perfect.
Good
we
to
put
know.
The little
Perfect.
fuzzy
Thank
things
you.
on, so I hope that helps with
yeah. So there are, so let me just go through a few of the
Alexandra,
comments
hello,
that
hola.
we've put it up here in live streams are helping us to prepare to follow your footsteps. That's
Amazing.
great.
So if you guys are, I mean, I know if we see a few of them here, 8 years to fire is the next one. Congratulations,
Yeah, congratulations.
Alexandra.
Going back to Portugal from Switzerland. We gotta go and visit Switzerland. It's funny saying that, Alexandre. I mean, from the name, I might be wrong, but it's Portuguese or Brazilian for sure, Alexandre Rodrigues. But we are gonna be in Switzerland this
For
year
3
for
hours
3 hours. And I said,
on a layover.
I know.
Yeah, closest
Yeah.
we're getting this year is Swiss Air.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll definitely go back. We are
Yeah.
definitely gonna go back to Switzerland. We really want to go and explore.
That's one of Jean's bucket list things.
It
and I
is.
think that might be a great thing. That's what this year has sort of been too for us, right? It's been just kind of slowing down, but being able to do things that we just want to do. We don't have to worry about vacation schedules or getting back home to look after our house, things like that, right? And we know that that's not going to be the case for everybody in their particular situations, but for us, it's really just allowed us the freedom to be able to wander at will and really to be able to spend the time that we haven't previously been able to spend with our family.
I know.
So
Exactly.
Switzerland is on the list of
It is
things
on
to
the
do
list.
next.
Yeah. And I also wanted to say a big thank you. We put a comment up here for a few of the folks. If you are looking at the comments, you're gonna see besides the name of some of the folks are actually on this call, there is a small plane, an airplane in the different colors. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's black. And Sarah, she says that I can't hear the fan, no distraction. You know, like something really funny?
Yeah, so this is huge. Thank you so much, Sarah.
This is really interesting. We want to say, well, we have single parent fire.
Also a thank you.
Also, thank you. And Trace, who is also here on this channel and on this live stream. Few years ago, we have been in contact with all of you via email, via WhatsApp, via live streams, and so on and so forth. That's when last year we decided to create the community, because that's one of the things that we felt that was really important, is having somebody that we can talk to in moments that sometimes you don't have somebody from your family.
In a little more personal way.
More personal way.
Yeah.
And Sarah was
the very first member.
The very first member of our channel. And it's been 1 year. That's Sarah, you are still sticking with us. So thank you.
And Mona and Tracy, you guys have been there almost as long. So huge thank yous to anybody who's out there who's joined the membership, and anybody who's interested. It's just a fun way for us to be able to interact more one-on-one with you guys, because I mean, we sit here and we talk to the camera or the computer every week, but we really like to engage in those conversations, the back and forth with you guys, because we learn as much from all of you as we hope that you guys can learn from us. So
and that is basically a way of us sharing the journey. We keep saying this, even though we talk about us, it's not about us, it's what we can offer you in terms of no financial advice. Remember that as always, but just in terms of telling you that it's possible. You can see that it's possible if you go back 4 years ago when we started creating our videos, the first video during COVID and everything. You were excited because this is something that we really wanted to do, and we can show you that it's possible. Go back when you have a lot of time available. Go through all of the videos that we create over these years. There is more than 300 videos that we created. It's just to show that it's possible. Is it easy?
Sometimes.
No. Sometimes it's easy.
Sometimes it's easy to make the decisions.
The decision. Okay.
I mean, it's not an easy journey, right? Everything that's worthwhile takes some effort. But
1,000%. And every single opportunity that we have to, especially with credit cards, in kind of making a way to support us with travel, and it's basically with points and miles. And this is really important, that when I see preparing for retirement here, Rakuten, which is great, so should I say an app? Yeah, it's like an app, like
It's
a
just a
company,
site,
like a
right?
site that you can use to get points when we start buying things. And most of the time, everything that we, at least that was the case
Mhm.
with us, you were buying things online. And why not use Rakuten as one of those companies that we
Yeah.
can, make a few bucks, or even better than bucks is actually points
Yeah.
support our trips.
Yeah, you're able to earn in the States, in the US, you're able, I'm
Uh-huh.
just going to tilt this a little bit
Okay.
more if we can, because I feel
Let's
like
try.
there, see if that works.
Yeah. Okay.
In the States, you're able to earn American Express membership rewards points, which are really valuable when it comes to travel. In Canada, we don't have that option. However, you still have the ability to earn cash back, which is as powerful because you can just turn that cash into money in your account to pay for travel
Yeah.
if you wanted to. So it's really good. This year, there's another one. The Capital One shopping portal is also a really great way of earning cash back. And sometimes they have some really great offers. Just recently, we had to book a few nights at an IHG property, and we were paying cash for those particular nights because of an offer that IHG had, and we're starting to try and work towards status. So we went through the Capital One shopping portal, and by booking through the portal, we actually received back for the 3 nights that we stayed. We actually received back about $25 off of our stay just by clicking through a shopping portal. The offer at the time was something crazy like 20% or whatever. But yeah, don't discount the portals because they really are quite powerful, and Rakuten alone gives you really great shopping or membership rewards points.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do this. 1 second.
I'm not sure what Jayon is doing.
Yeah, but keep talking. I'll do this.
Yeah. So let us know if you guys have had any other points wins. Like I said before, we purchased a bunch of points back in December that we're now currently using for our stays this particular month in March, as well as the upcoming month in April when we're in Mexico. However, I think our budget video this month might shock some people, as the points and miles have not equated to a zero accommodation cost.
No, that's true. But
and that's only because we ended up buying more points.
Yeah.
Or points, hotel points. So that one will be coming out maybe next weekend. I think we'll do the updated budget or our March budget. But did you end up putting the numbers together for the full year?
No, I don't have the, even though I love spreadsheets, but I haven't finished that. Well, last year, from when we started in April, right? So that's from April until December. So this is when we had actually a live stream when we shared with you guys how much we have spent in our budget. Was around 35,000 US.
I think we were 2,000, just about $2,000 over budget for the 10 months that were 9 months that we were traveling. So since then, it's been January and February where we've been under budget those months. March, we're going to be over budget. I think we're over budget by 3,000.
Yeah,
3,000. I think it's 3,000, but that is the points that we purchased this month for hotels. So that means in the entire 12 months of travel, we were over budget approximately $5,000, and that 5,000 is strictly because we purchased points to use from now all the way through. We've booked hotels all the way through to the end of January next year. Other than one stay at an Airbnb. So hopefully next month we'll be under budget.
We never know. I don't even pretend that anymore. Dominique, that's somebody else who actually also retired
and moved abroad.
Yes. If I am not mistaken, Dominique, you are in Thailand. No, isn't it Thailand? I think so. Let us know in the comments below if you are actually in Thailand. And by the way, we heard of what happened in Myanmar and also Thailand in Bangkok.
Yeah.
It's really heartbroken when we see those things happening, right? That we don't know what is going to happen, and all of a sudden, Mother Nature says and does
Yeah.
something that it does have a big impact in everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who are actually affected by this, hopefully that everything is okay. It's important that more than I was reading the news today, actually more than 1,700 people were actually dead in Myanmar because of
The earthquake.
the earthquake, right?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what happened in Thailand and in Bangkok. Not only in Bangkok. We are gonna go at the end of this year to Chiang Mai,
Mm-hmm.
right? So from what we have seen, there is not a lot of impact yet, but either way, I mean,
It's still
just
scary, right?
it's still scary for what is gonna happen. And please, 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 this is something that is really important. Even if you go to another city, you gotta go and have health insurance. You cannot go to these places without insurance because we never know what is gonna happen, right?
Well, and
So
I
you
think,
have to.
yeah, that leads to another really great point. And I think Jean and I are guilty of this, but having just witnessed what happened in Thailand, we need to start registering with the embassies in the countries that we're in,
Yeah.
because they send you all sorts of different alerts. But not only that, they know where you are in the event of a natural disaster, right? So that's something that we need to get better at. That we've learned over the course of the year that we're not so great
we
at
need
registering,
to
but we
do
need to do that.
a few things that we actually did when we left. We use our the wallet, which is a way that we can basically kind of via app. We know where we are gonna go, what kind of accommodation we are in, and so on and so forth. And our the wallet actually allows me to share the calendar with whoever has the link. So if you are, like on Google Calendar or Outlook or Hotmail or any kind of calendar that you have, you would be able to do this, and that's what we've done with our family. So they know
where we are,
which flight we are taking, which hotel we are gonna be, and so on and so forth. And we need to improve that, join what Christine is mentioning, which is like in Canada, there is a WhatsApp number from the Canadian, I don't know if it's Foreign Affairs or which ministry is responsible for that. No, basically say when you are traveling overseas, and if you wanted to register with the embassy with the Canadian government and telling, here's where we are. So there is a phone number that we can call. There is a WhatsApp message. There is an email that we should be able to.
Yeah, any embassy.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We are doing, of course, this with Canada, but please don't forget to do this. Just write it down, and even on your wallet, right? When you are traveling, have some sort of a label telling this is my hotel, this is my family, the number from my family that you can reach out, because
if you can't speak for yourself, right? It's just a safety measure for you, for sure. But we, anyways, long way saying we hope everybody's okay if you know anybody over there. So
hey Josana, thank you very much. We're happy to hear this.
Obrigada. I'm having problems. So we
tell about the problem.
I was doing so good with my Portuguese, guys. And then we went to Argentina and Uruguay for the past 3 months. And now I can't. My Portuñol is back and it's really bad. I can't even speak to Jean's mom. I have to really remember my Portuguese. It takes a minute to kick back in, but
it's okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to go through the questions or
let's
talk
go through
about
the questions first.
Where we have been and kind of summarize a few things and answer any other questions that you guys might have?
Volatility in the market. Yeah, I mean, I think we're okay. I think that at this point, though, right, our investments are pretty set because we don't have any more capital to be putting into the market right now. If we had more capital, we would be excited because this would be a good buying time for so many people, right? We don't have the capital. All we have is our investment portfolio that we currently have. It has dropped probably more. Last week, I think it was down almost 5%. It's back up a little bit now. But I think that we're okay. I think we've just come to the realization that volatility is going to happen.
Uh-huh.
If we have extra capital, now would be the time that we would be inputting
Would
it
be
into
able
the
to put in.
market
Yeah.
just to start averaging down on our costs, right?
Mhm.
Maybe it's not going to have a huge impact, but if you can average down on the cost of some of your investments, 50 cents, $1, $2, whatever, however much your cost basis is, it makes a huge difference when the market does rebound, because it will rebound.
It will.
That being said, the vast majority of our growth investments are long term. We are not selling anything, and those are ETFs. So those are swinging the most.
Yeah.
And our dividends are still paying. So we're not too worried about our income at this point.
Yeah. Some of the things that we did to make sure that we will not even survive. Survive is not the word, but we will be kind of give us some peace of mind. There's the scenarios that we run before we decided to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Going back to 2021, our initial plan was retire in 2028.
Yeah.
From 2028, making the adjustments and everything that we were able to do, we reduced it from 2028 to 2024. And when we run those scenarios at that time, the guys were saying, no, you should be fine with 2024. But even with that, what we have decided to do, which I think it's a good thing, is have some cash available for the first year, for the first 8 or 9, almost, we still had a little bit of cash left. We were basically using the cash that we saved and not touching anything from our investments at all, not selling anything, even though we didn't have to sell anything, right? But we basically used the cash, and the cash was more than enough to what we wanted to. Going towards the beginning of 2025, right? The end of 2024, I guess it was December when we started pulling the dividends. Was it?
Yeah.
Right? So I guess in December of 2024, that's the first time that we actually transfer the money from the dividends that we received to our accounts in order to live off those dividends.
Yeah, and so far that's been working without a hitch. Yeah. I mean, is it stressful to see your accounts go up and down like a yo-yo some days? Yeah, it is, because this is the money that you're all counting on and we're counting on to carry us forward for the next, hopefully, 40 plus years, right?
Yeah.
To see it lose like 6 digits over the course of a week,
it's difficult. It's
difficult,
hard, right?
But I think that having gone through I know we started investing in COVID, like during COVID, but in 2023, the market took a pretty big dip again. We're going through that and seeing how our portfolio came out after that one as well. I think we're starting to realize that this is just part of our new reality. We can't stress about it too much. It's still a concern. It's still in the back of our head, but as it stands right now, we're just riding it and not letting it stress us out too much.
Yeah. It's just life as usual. We are not doing anything, right? We are not doing anything. And there is a really good question. RT, we hope that we answer your question. If not, please use the comments below and we can go back to the question again. But Sarah has an interesting question. Do you rebalance when the market is down?
So no, I mean, we've only rebalanced once so far, and that was in November of this year, and it was more
November 2024.
Yeah. We did some rebalancing. That was in conjunction with our accountant. But we only did it because there was 2 positions that we really wanted to exit out of in Canada. And it was a good time for us to take a couple of really great capital gains as well that we had been able to realize. So BCE and Algonquin were 2 positions we decided to exit for dividend payout purposes. BCE was pausing its dividend and the potential was there for a cut. Algonquin had already cut their dividend twice. So we decided, you know what, we need to get out and put that money to work elsewhere. So by taking a loss on those two plays, we were able to take our gains on a couple of others.
Yeah.
And now we're going to use that money moving forward, the losses moving forward, for offsetting future capital gains that are coming down the road. But we only do it once a year. And I think maybe, I don't know whether we should look at doing it more than once a year, but right now we're sticking with just the once a year. We'll talk to our accountant and see how it's going to affect us tax-wise, really.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the numbers from our accountant and see what is going to happen.
Oh my gosh, guys, we just sent all of our stuff in. This past year was a bit of a scary year for me, because when I looked at the amount of tax that was taken off of all of the, like, obviously my pension got taxed quite huge, the amount that wasn't put into the registered plans, plus my income for the year, plus some of the payouts that I received. Fingers crossed. Our accountant will come through and we'll be getting some money back this year, because I've never paid that much tax in my life. Nor do I ever want to pay that much tax again.
Yeah. And that's why at the end of the day, does it cost money to see an accountant? Yes, it does. And they should be compensated for their work, right? But the amount of money that we are able to save and making sure that this is the best way, and some of the, I'm not going to say tricks, but as regular folks, we wouldn't be able to.
We don't know tax law. We don't know
do in details what is going to happen with the government. But yes, we were able to do this. One of the things is, please, not financial advice at all, especially for Canadians. You are able to, it seems that I do remember one thing, that we wanted to reduce the amount of taxes to pay. And he says, by the way, I think that you are able to invest, was it over $2,000 or something like that, once in a lifetime.
Oh, so
right. So basically,
in Canada, you can over contribute to your RRSP one time without penalty, and it's I think a $2,000 amount that you could. So I mean, it's just all these little things. We had no idea, right? In our minds, the RRSP amount that you can contribute was hard and fast. But there is a small little bit of wiggle room that we wouldn't have known about without the accountant.
And this $2,000 might make you pay more taxes because you're going to be in a different tax bracket or not. So all of those things we didn't know. So that's why we think it's important, and it's a peace of mind. I'm already telling my accountant, you are going to retire when you're going to retire, because it's going to be really hard for us to find somebody else and understand what is going to happen. We have free time, yes, but there's not the stuff that I don't want to deal with, like tax-wise. But anyway, let's go to our question. Great question so far. Keep them coming. We are more than happy to answer them. So we have another one.
Boot campfire.
There we go.
Can you share your plans for travel for the next year? Yes. And will it focus on North America, South America, or perhaps Europe? So some of those, but the majority, no. So we've already sort of shared some of the plans, and they've slightly changed. So we'll fill you guys in right now on those.
Yeah, now or later?
Well, no, we might as well do it now.
Let's go.
So we started the year in Argentina. We were there for 2 months. We've been in Uruguay for 1 month, and then we made our epic 2-day travels back up to Brazil last week. We're here for 2 weeks. And after here, we go to Mexico. We're going to be in Mexico for 6 weeks.
Mexico City,
and the central Mexico area, which I'm super excited, because I want to do a special video for you guys from Mexico, because Mexico is very dear to my heart. I went to school there for almost a year and a half, and we're going to go back and show Jean the city that I lived in Mexico. So I'm going to bring it to you guys too and show you how special it is. Anyways, Mexico for 6 weeks. And then we're going to be back in Canada for 2 months to visit family, which is already turning into a crammed schedule of seeing people and visiting friends and family. But from there, where do we go?
From there, we are going to go to
Switzerland.
Well, we are going to spend a few hours in Switzerland, but we're going to go to Greece.
Yeah.
So we are landing in Greece at the beginning of August.
Yeah. Right? And the original plan was to stay in Greece in August and hop through the islands, like do kind of our own cruise with ferries through the Greek islands for a month or so. However, looking at some of the pricing in August in Greece, it's quite expensive for accommodation in the islands. Not to mention it's very warm and it's there's a lot of tourists. So we kind of wanted to get off the beaten track a little bit, but not veer too far. So instead of hitting all of Greece this year, we're going to spend about a week and a half in Greece, just sort of in and around Athens. But then we're going to Bulgaria.
Yes.
So we're going to be in Bulgaria for around
a month and a half,
6 weeks. Yeah, about a month and a half, which will be fun because we hadn't had Bulgaria on our radar
not really.
at all. So we've been watching a few videos, YouTube videos, and starting to learn a little bit about Bulgaria and some of the places we want to go and things we want to see. And it's extremely interesting country. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yes, and from Bulgaria, basically we are in Athens and we kind of go around and we hit Bulgaria, and from Bulgaria we keep going, I think it's this way, to Turkey. We are gonna be in Turkey for the remainder of...
till the end of October.
Yeah, until the end of October. Istanbul, it's one place that we wanted to go. Christine is convincing me of going in a hot air balloon, so I might go.
He will go.
Yeah, so as a result, we're gonna go to Cappadocia and spend a few days in Cappadocia and kind of trying to find our way around in Istanbul.
Yep.
From Istanbul, we are gonna go and take another flight from Istanbul to Bangkok. So we are arriving in Bangkok towards the end of October. So we are gonna be in Thailand October, November, December. And for 2026,
we've already started changing our plans for that as well.
Yeah, for 2026. One of the things that we wanted to do is health-wise, making sure that everything is okay, because we spend a lot of money, a lot of time making sure that our finances are in place, but we cannot forget our health. And I am assuming that for most of us within our age range, the more and more we see people comment on people, this person is not feeling well.
I'll be back.
Yeah, she's gonna go and talk to my brother. And people kind of not feeling well. Sorry about that. And then we thought we wanted to make sure that we can live for a long time and enjoy this time that we'll have available. And the only way of doing this is making sure that everything is okay with our health.
No.
And what we have decided to do is, I guess that if not in Chiang Mai, because they really have a good health center in Thailand, but if not, it is going to be Malaysia, maybe Kuala Lumpur. So that's what we were debating, when would be the best time to kind of go and do this. We wanted to do at the beginning of 2026 and making sure that everything is okay. So that's the plan. And after that, the only thing that we know is that by June or July, we are going to be back in North America again, in Canada, because in 2026, we have the World Cup. So the World Cup in Canada, the United States, and also Mexico. I'm a soccer fan, and we wanted to go. Hopefully we can get a few tickets, and if not, at least celebrate some of those games in North America and make our way to South America, again to Brazil. Right, so that's what we have planned so far. If you guys have any tips for Turkey, Greece, Thailand, Malaysia, I mean, just share with us. We are looking forward to reading them. Yeah, great question. So Emily has another question. Let me put Emily's question.
Did you retire before your 50th birthday? If so, okay.
I didn't, Emily, so...
But he retired at 51.
Yes, 51.
Which is fantastic. I was able to retire at 45. So I still have... I'm 46 now. So 4 years to plan. I don't know where we'll spend my 50th.
Yeah.
Maybe an African safari. I was on one with my dad, actually 7 years ago. this September after my mom passed away. My dad and I went on a safari together, which was really great. But I think maybe that would be a wonderful way to spend that birthday. And Jean has never been to Africa, so maybe that would be a good time for us to go do the safari.
I'm actually surprised.
Really?
I thought you were going to say Egypt.
Oh, well, that's also a possibility. Or Antarctica.
Yeah. We were in Argentina. We were considering going to Antarctica, but we knew that was going to be quite expensive, and we thought maybe next time we will be able to do this.
Yeah, I don't know, but now I'm going to start thinking where we're going to spend that birthday.
Yeah.
You can plan your 60th. maybe 55.
55, yeah.
How often do you look at your investments? I still kind of look almost every day.
We do, but
Not
I'm
as
gonna say,
obsessively.
Sarah, I'm gonna say at least 60 or 70% less. We use it to do this regularly, especially at the beginning of retiring. But nowadays, yes, we kind of go and look, but what is green or what is red. But at the same time, we are not going to be able to make any changes. I mean, we don't want to make any changes to our portfolio, and we end up kind of looking, but
it's more just to keep an eye on things, unless there's some drastic thing happening that we need to be aware of. But it's we're definitely not.
No.
Okay, at least I'm not nearly as obsessive as I was prior to retirement, because every day I'd have our portfolio running in the background of whatever I was working on at work, just constantly making sure that it was gonna work out for us. But this year we've started to slow down and we're not as focused on it.
Yeah, which is a great question, Sarah. Thank you. This is actually a good segue to life and go wonder.
You're retiring in 2 days? Congratulations. Oh,
amazing.
Super
April
exciting.
15th, right?
Oh, that's exciting. Congratulations. What a milestone. I mean, everybody here is working so hard towards it that all of us should be extremely proud every time that, every day is a victory. And when you actually make it to that retirement day, be very proud of yourselves, because you've put in the work. You've worked really hard to get there. So great job.
That's amazing. I'm interested in it. I don't know if you can share like age, when are you guys, next week, are you going to be like 50s, 60s, 30s, 40s? Share in the comments below. I would love to hear that. Right?
Can you speak to anxiety you felt quitting your job and traveling full time? I don't think there was any anxiety about traveling full time. For me, it wasn't so much nerves and anxiety about quitting my job. It was a little bit of sadness about quitting my job, because I really loved my job.
Yeah.
There was aspects about it that, weren't the best for my mental health, but I loved the people that I worked with. I loved the job itself and the fact that I felt like, we were making a difference and helping. But no, I don't think there was nerves or anxiety about quitting. It was more excitement. I think we knew it was the right decision.
Yeah.
And we were just excited. By the time that date came, the nerves and anxiety too far gone. We were more excited. We were ready to go. Our bags were packed, and, we just wanted to get moving. What about you?
Well, my situation was a bit different, because I was working as a contractor, and I didn't have like time to bond with the guys that I used to work with, because I was the project manager, and I was the guy always telling people, where are you in the project? And sometimes asking those questions, you're not very welcome for people, because they had to do their job, and then I had to make sure. That's how I was getting paid. It's making sure that the project was.
You just weren't the popular person, right?
Yeah.
You were kind of
I was not the popular one. Yes. So I was basically moving from one contract to another one around every 6 or every 7 months. So we didn't have enough time to bond and create that connection, right? So when I finished my last contract, even though they wanted to renew, I said, you know what, I think that I've had enough and I don't want to do anything else. And it goes back to my age. So that's exactly when I turned 51, and I didn't want to wait until 52 to retire, which is in 2023. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, it was December 2023. Yeah, oh my goodness, December 2023. So that's when I decided to quit. But no, I don't think so. It was easier for me from that perspective.
Yeah,
Christine, she has been working with the Toronto police for how many years?
it was about
17,
18. Yeah,
18 years, right?
yeah.
So hers was different. But
I
just
yeah, maybe the anxiety. Maybe there was a little anxiety. I think maybe the anxiety was more how we were going to be. Were we going to be bored? Were we going to have enough to do? Were we going to
Mhm.
be, you know, was this life going to be fulfilling?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? And I think that's a natural thing for anybody
Mhm.
retiring. Like, what is your life moving forward after 40 plus years of working or 30 plus years of working, right? That's all you've known, really. You
Mhm.
get up, you go to work, you have your weekends free, and then rinse and repeat. So once that's
Yeah.
done,
Mhm.
what's your time look like? I mean, we all have these grand ideas, but the reality is sometimes they don't go to
Yeah.
plan.
But at the same time, our situation was a bit different because we did not even have a place. We had sold the house at that time. We were just waiting for the closing date. So once Christine stopped work, we gotta go and do a few other things before we actually leave. And what I think it brought us some excitement is the Camino that we decided to walk,
Well, and I think
right?
that's so back to the anxiety. I
Uh-huh.
think that that helped alleviate some of
Yeah.
that because we already knew what the next 2 to 3 months was going to look like, right? We knew that
Uh-huh.
each day we had a goal that needed to be achieved. And that sort of eased us into being able to deal with our time the way we wanted it to, and rather than dealing on a
Yeah.
schedule that was set by an employer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question, but I think for us, there was a little bit of anxiety as to what our life was going to look like after the
Uh-huh.
fact. We had these grand dreams of traveling the world, and it's been great. But there's days you sit in your pajamas and watch Netflix during the day, and you don't go out. It's not like you're
Uh-huh.
vacationing, right? You're just living around the world as
Yeah.
opposed to vacationing,
Yes. That's
right?
true.
So
That's true.
I don't know if that answered your question or not, but
But congratulations again.
yeah,
Please keep us posted. I don't know where you guys are gonna go. Maybe
yeah,
we can
meet up.
meet up around the
And
world,
that goes
right?
for anybody. So we've
Yes.
kind of put our broad schedule out there. If you guys are in any of these locations at any
Mhm.
point, just drop us a comment, send us an email, because we love meeting up with
Yeah.
anyone that we
Uh-huh.
can.
Yeah. One of them that I can tell you right away, it is gonna be in Canada when we are back in
Yeah.
Toronto again. So we have Verna, we have a few other folks who wanted to connect with us, and we're gonna meet up in Toronto, like GTA. So if you guys are in that region or even flying
Yeah.
to Canada, we are more than happy to
Mhm.
bring you along with us and celebrate life and get
Yeah.
to know each other. Emily, Plovdiv, we are going to
We are going to
Plovdiv, right?
Plovdiv.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we really want to do some hiking. So the
Rodolphin
mountains sound
Mountains.
great. Bulgaria was never a country that popped to mind when I thought, oh, when we
Uh-huh.
retire, let's go to Bulgaria. But the
Yeah.
more I read about it, the more intrigued I am.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad we're going to be there for over a
Mm-hmm.
month, because it's a smaller country, but it seems like there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be
Yeah.
busy, I think.
And there we go.
Ah,
Holland. Yeah. Krakow. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether we're going to make it to Poland yet, but it's on the list.
Yeah. The funny thing is, sometimes we have the analysis paralysis because there are so many places that we want to visit, but at the same time we don't know. Okay, it's hard. I mean, it's not because I don't want to brag. It's not the case at all, but it's hard because you have so many possibilities, and you end up meeting people that you kind of connect with.
Mhm.
And sometimes you go to one country and the person goes to another country, and I say, oh, I really want to kind of go back and meet, I don't know, like Ashley or Colette and those guys,
Mhm.
and see how can we find a way to connect with them, right? But having all the time in the world makes things easier, but at the same time difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, it does
Right?
make it difficult, and it sounds like a awful problem to have, and I mean, it's
Yeah.
a good problem to have.
Hmm.
But when you want to see and do so many things, it's hard to sometimes narrow it down and make a
Uh-huh.
decision. But That being said, Poland is I think a lot of those countries are really underrated. And the more you see pictures and read about these places, the more you really want to go.
Yeah.
The problem is we need to manage our Schengen time pretty strict. So Poland might be on our next go around for the EU.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's go. There are so many questions. Keep them coming. I'm so sorry. Sometimes we spend a lot of time talking one question, but we wanted to give you guys honest review and how we feel about it. So Emily is 3,500 US per month.
Or 5,000
Canadian. Yes, yeah. So that's our budget. And by the way, sorry, you're gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say, and so far it's been pretty easy to manage that amount. And I mean, if you go back and look at our videos, we've been traveling quite well. We're not uber budget travelers.
No.
We're not staying in hostels.
No.
We kind of split our time between Airbnbs and hotels. And so we eat out. As many of you know, our eating out budget is by far our biggest line item. But that's what we enjoy. And we really do feel that you get to understand a country and a culture through their food. So 3,500 isn't a lot of money, but honestly, when you're traveling outside of Canada, the US, and some other European countries, it goes a long way.
Yes, great answer. Let's see. And by the way, Emily, we have a playlist with every single month since we stopped working. We kind of go and present the budget. So it's usually at the beginning of every month. I believe that this next weekend, which is going to be the first weekend of April, we might be releasing our budget for March, which we haven't even,
we haven't recorded it
we
yet.
haven't even recorded yet, and the month ends tomorrow, so we haven't had a chance. But that's what we are planning to do. Right? Great question. Carlos, staying on Airbnb in those places or using my points?
So kind of back to what it just said. We've been staying, well, when we were in Brazil, we're in our condo and with family. So for the 2 weeks we're here, we're staying with family. So we're not staying in anything that requires payment. But we sort of split our time between Airbnb and hotels. During the Camino, it was all hotels or like hostel type accommodation. And then in Buenos Aires and Mendoza, we were in Airbnb, and then we were in type like a hotel apartment thing for part of the time. And then it's been hotels since.
It's been hotels since
March.
No,
March 1st.
February.
Part of February.
Yeah.
Part of February.
And we are even strategic about that, on which hotels we are going to use and where are we staying, because depending on the prices and that's the cent per point, there's like the rationale behind that. We strategically stay in a few hotels on the same chain. I'm going to give you an example. Last year, if you guys do remember, we end up signing up for a Wyndham credit card. So with our Wyndham credit card, we were able to keep the status with Wyndham, which is, I don't even know.
Well, you status match from IHG.
So we status match from IHG to Wyndham, and they say, by the way, if for the next 90 days, if we stay 10 nights with us, we are going to give you the diamond status, which is the highest status with with Wyndham for 2025 and 2026. What have we done? We end up staying in Colonia in Uruguay. We stayed 6 or 7 nights at a Wyndham property.
Using the sign-up bonus.
And a few other properties that we decided to pay because it was more beneficial for us to pay in cash rather than use our points. So that's what we are always trying to balance, right?
Yeah. And right now we're all closing in on 20 nights with IHG, and our goal, and we will reach it by the third stay in Mexico, is 40 nights with IHG to get lounge access. Real quick, lounge access is going to allow us to eat breakfast, and most of the time it involves snacks in the afternoon, which really does equate to your evening meal, along with drinks, appetizers, things like that. So with the lounge access, with IHG properties, our food for the most part is also covered, which is why we're kind of shooting for IHG 40 nights, so we get the lounge access. And then we'll look at other programs as well.
Yeah, exactly. And even when we stay with Airbnb, we still keep getting points. Unfortunately, we cannot share everything that we know in a public video because
some things you don't want.
There are a few things that you cannot say, but we have those videos inside our community, our membership community. So if you guys wanted to join, we are more than welcome. There's a QR code that you can kind of go if you are interested. And then that's when we kind of go into more details
some
to
more
why
of the tips that we're doing,
we cannot say in public, right? So that's the reason to why. So then we have another question from Blue Yates.
Season started.
Yeah.
Okay, Toronto. Jealous of your adventures, hoping to follow you in your footsteps in a few years. Yeah, keep saving. I mean, times are uncertain, right? There's a lot going on all over the world right now, and if it's hard to stay focused, but the more you can, and the more you can just sort of stick to your savings and keep your spending under control, the better off you'll be in the long run, right? But we're excited. A few years. How many is a few? Let us know, because maybe when we're in Toronto, we can all get together for a drink there. Catch up.
Yeah. Another question from Carlos. Is more than 4%, Carlos. Our dividend yield.
But that's only on the dividend portion of it, because half of our portfolio is in growth. So only half of it is generating income for us to live on. And so the other half is in our growth ETFs, which it kind of lowers the yield on our overall portfolio a little bit. But we do have those higher income ETFs that tend to bump it up a little bit if you were just looking at the dividend distribution portion of the portfolio.
Yeah, and we also keep sharing our dividend income and the net worth inside our community as well, inside our membership community.
Thanks, Lori.
Lori, thank you. And thank you. I have to take what you say. You have to kind of pat in your back.
Yeah, give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah, Christian says, how do you feel? Do you feel good? And I say, yeah, but there's more.
There's always a but. So I'm always just telling him, just be proud of where you are in this moment. And then tomorrow we move to the next, same as when we were saving for financial independence. I mean, we know we need to lose weight. We know we need to be healthier. We're doing our best. And I think that in the past 3 months, we've sort of started to get our rhythm with that. But it's not something that's going to happen overnight. We didn't put the weight on overnight, and it's going to take some time to take it off. But we're definitely heading in the right direction. So thank you very much, because
it's hard, right? Because
I feel like it's harder than saving money. And
I think so. Yeah. I am reading a really good book. I don't know if you guys have heard about Peter Attia or Tatia. I might be pronouncing his last name wrong, but it's called Outlive. Yeah, and it's really good, and he kind of goes through the rationale behind, and I am so focused in improving our health now. And it's difficult because here we are in Brazil at my mom. So we were
cooking.
We were before in Buenos Aires and Uruguay. We had breakfast, and then we kind of go out for walks. And then by the time that we kind of come back to the hotel, let's go have like brunch/dinner, and that's basically it, like 2 or 3 meals maximum.
Meals a day.
Yeah. And here we are in Brazil, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. Mom is already up. She's already preparing breakfast for us. And then 9 o'clock, she says, oh, you must be hungry. Here's something else. And you go lunch. And then go and have a nap. And there's like 3 p.m. coffee. And here comes dinner. It never stops.
No. But I mean, that's where we have to kind of police ourselves to a certain extent and say, no, we don't need it.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
We are getting there. So preparing for retirement, 58. That's amazing.
5 months. Oh, time's gonna fly.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know. Did we put a checklist on the website?
No, but I can.
Maybe. I think we have one somewhere. Maybe what we'll do is we'll post the checklist that we sort of made up for ourselves for anybody who's interested on all the things we needed to make sure we had done before we retired or left, right? Just to kind of
yes. I think it was a checklist with 60 or 70 things that we need to do before we stop working, like canceling, subscriptions and calling the city, cancel service and stuff like that.
That's because we were leaving the country too. But just there's things like making sure you clear off your work computer because sometimes you have personal things saved on your. I know I did. I had pictures and things like that. So you want to make sure you have that removed from your work computer so you don't miss that kind of stuff, right? And just things like that. Getting people's personal phone numbers if you only have their work number, things. Those you gotta
go into those before, because if you do wait until the last week of working, you might not have enough time and even to remember because of all the anxiety and all the things going on at the same time. Good question.
I need Jean to see. Bless him.
Sorry.
He just. I need Jean to see the West Coast. Well, we both need to see the East Coast, but I really want Jean to see the West Coast as well. So we will definitely be coming to Vancouver and Vancouver Island at some point, for sure.
Yeah. Maggie, Krakow, and Wrocław.
Definitely. We're putting it all on a list. Don't worry. We go through the comments afterwards and we make notes. So we'll make sure we hit all these places and let you guys all know how it goes. Best credit card in Canada.
Easy is gonna be
the American Express
Cobalt card that you end up getting 5 points per dollar in groceries and restaurants.
You can use that card at Freshco, Sobeys, Food Basics.
It depends on Metro. Where you are in Canada, but depending on the region, sometimes that is actually one of the questions that Lori was asking before, because she is on the West Coast. Lori, let us know in the comments below if the groceries that we told you they do work in Vancouver, because depending on where Jacqueline is, it's going to be in a different one. There's the QR code that it is showing up on your screen, so where you can see the list of credit cards that we like in Canada and also the credit cards that you have in the United States. But hands down, Canada, American Express Cobalt card, it's a
no-brainer. That's a great one. Canadians out there, we always say, we're, the Americans are so lucky they have such great sign-up bonuses. They do. Don't get us wrong. But they don't have a card that earns 5x miles on groceries and dining out. The best one that we've seen is 4x on groceries. That's the MX Gold in the US, which is really great, and eating out as well. But it's such a great way to earn. And I think we just saw as well, if you hold this card and you want to add an extra person to your card, or you want to put your children, get them a card so that they can use it if they're out or anything like that, you get 7,500 points just for adding a person to your card, and there's no fee for it. So things like that are really great, and we haven't seen some of those offers in the US either. So Canada has some good perks with our cards as well. But definitely the MX Cobalt card.
Great question, Jacqueline. And that's the link, as I did mention before. Let's see, preparing for retirement, deal on hotel in China, Crete, and Greece on Agoda. Agoda is a good website to look for those deals.
We actually got a list of, a massive list from our friend Ashley of all these different platforms that you can use to look for hotels and vacation Airbnb type things outside of Airbnb. There are so many. Some of them are location dependent, like if you're in a certain country or not. But that being said, always make sure you, not only if you're working on your laptop, check the sites on your laptop, but also check them on your mobile.
Mhm.
Quite often, and to me, it makes no sense, but sometimes the prices are different, and you could get a much better deal on your mobile app than you will on the website. So, or vice versa. So just make sure if you see a really great place that you're interested in, make sure you take the time to check it out on both, because you may end up saving, a decent amount of money.
Yeah, 100%. Love the questions so far. So keep them coming. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Jean.
Christine.
That's my lovely wife, Christine. Do you want to, before keep going on those questions, or do you want to see and tell them what we have done last year?
Well, it's up to you.
Yeah. So really quick, we stopped working 1 year today. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna take I get so excited, my hand out of the table. And we sold our house in Toronto, and we decided to travel the world at the end of April the 25th or the 26th. That's when we took a cruise.
21st.
Yeah, why is the 21st?
Because we flew on the 20th.
Oh, okay. There we go. Well, I don't know, but we basically took a cruise from Miami to Barcelona, and when we got in Spain, we decided to walk the Camino de Santiago. We ended up spending 3 months on the Camino. We finished the Camino de Santiago. We spent 1 week in Portugal, Santiago, Spain, Santiago de Compostela, right? In what am I saying? So after Santiago, we spent 1 week in Portugal. Then we flew to Madrid, where we spent a few other days. Am I missing anything so far? No. And from Madrid, we came to Brazil, and we got here in Brazil at the end of July, and we stayed until
end of October.
We end up going from Brazil, from Fortaleza, that's where my family lives, to Florida, where we spent Thanksgiving with our family. That they were so nice, and they came from Toronto. From Toronto to Florida to spend not Christmas. Oh my God! Yeah, it's early Christmas with Thanksgiving, and after that we came back to Brazil again. In Brazil, we spent the real dates for Christmas and New Year's, and in the beginning of 2025, we flew and we spent 2 months in Argentina. We were in Buenos Aires, and we were in Mendoza and Cordoba. And from Buenos Aires, we went to Uruguay, where we spent just over a month in Montevideo and also in Colonia de Sacramento. And actually last week, we flew from Montevideo to Buenos Aires. We took a ferry.
Yes, we didn't fly. We took a ferry.
Yeah, we took
a bus and a ferry.
A bus and a ferry, and we ended up flying back to Fortaleza. That's where we are now, because having this opportunity to spend family is priceless. My mom, she's gonna be turning 75 next week, and we wanted to be here, and celebrate that time with her. Well, tell how excited she is when she talks about that.
She's super excited. Well, she's more excited that her entire family's going to be together for it, right? Which it's not something that's happened a lot over the past 20 years, because Jean has missed quite a few family events. So it's going to be really nice that he's here, that we're both here to celebrate that milestone with her. So it's been great.
And from here we go to Mexico, and that's when you already talked about what you're going to be doing for the remainder of the year, right?
Yeah.
So far, so good. Another question from Enzo.
Brazilian partner and I, American lover. Oh, thank you very much. Late 30s and really want to retire young and spend half our time between Brazil and the US traveling. Go for it. I mean, I think it's great. I think that the more we talk to people, the more people are realizing that there's the alternative to the ideas that we've all had of traditional retirement.
It's how to manage the logistics. So that's what he's complimenting his question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure how to save, not about how to save more, but how to manage the logistics of wanting to live in 2 places and balancing 2 families. I mean, it is exactly that. It's balancing. Jean and I even had this conversation last week, and we're not going to see after this set of time in Brazil and set of time in Canada, we won't see our family for a full calendar year. And we kind of talked to each other and we thought, well, it's great. We're getting to travel and see things, but part of the major reason we wanted to retire and have the time to do what we want is because we wanted to spend more time with our families. So we sort of sat down and we thought, we're going to have to start seeing our family every 6 months somehow, because Jean's mom is 75, my dad is 76. And, you know, after the beginning of this video, you know that I lost my mom 7 years ago today. And Jean is nine years?
Oh God.
No, longer than that.
No, 2009.
Yeah, 2009, he lost him. So we realize the importance of time. We don't have as much time as we once had with our family. So I think for the next few years, we're going to make it a priority to see if we can make it back maybe every 6 months or 7 or 8 months, something like that, but just on a slightly more regular basis than once a year, to see our parents and our family and spend that quality time with them while we're still able to. But it is a balancing act. It's and you kind of find your balance. I guess whatever's going to work for you is where the sweet spot that you find. But I think we found ours. I think it's going to be every 6 to 8 months. We're going to be visiting family.
Yeah. I'm not sure how on where you guys kind of wanted to travel, but if your travel is going to be between the US and Brazil, I think it's quite easy because you're going to end up finding direct flights from the major hubs in the United States. In the same way here in Brazil, it's usually Sao Paulo. So if you are planning to do this kind of logistics between Brazil and the US, I think it will be easier. The complicator that we have for us is we are here in South America, and part of the family is here, part of the family is in North America, and we want to travel to other parts of the world. And it's kind of where we're going to find this balance of spending time here in Brazil and spending time in Canada. That's where
and balancing it with the budget, because I mean, we have points and miles that we're using to offset all these costs, but there's not an unlimited supply of them. So we also have to be conscious of the cost of moving as frequently around the world too. So that might be where repositioning cruises start to sort of make their way back into our travel schedule a little bit. But that's sort of how we're doing it. And I mean, it's been only a year, so we're just figuring it out as well, how to balance family and travel and doing, you know, all the things and exciting things we want to do, but really making sure that we spend that time with, you know, Jean's mom and my dad.
Yeah.
And their families, right?
That's right. Hey, Adriana, it's nice to see you again, Montreal.
Yeah, I think we might actually make it to Montreal this summer. So if we're there, we'll definitely let you know. We'll keep you posted.
Jazz Festival in Montreal, I know it's unbelievable. So yes, let's keep in touch, Adriana. So live and go. We are just gonna miss you guys.
Just missing you. But that being said, I don't know where you guys are going to be after Chiang Mai, like after the 31st of December, and Bangkok until the first or second week of January. So if you're headed back down that way, let us know. But we're going to be in Southeast Asia for a few months after that. So let's see if we're going to cross paths somewhere for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Shosanna. Thank you again. Oh, there's somebody interesting now.
Who's this?
Look who is this?
You did it. Congratulations. Patrick, we're so excited for you. How do you feel? I know this it's hard to have this conversation, but gosh, when did we met Patrick when he was out in Toronto 4 years ago? 4 years ago.
Patrick, do you want to join on this call and say hi to everybody? If you want to, let me know. We can send you a link and we can bring you. I don't know if you want to come or not, but come on in.
Congratulations.
First of all, congratulations.
Amazing. Our timelines were very similar, so it's really nice to see that Patrick was able to leave on Friday. So
it's funny because when we started the journey, Patrick, it's been a long member, I mean, like follower of our journey. And one time, I think that I'm gonna be able to say this, Patrick. You were in Toronto and you decided to meet her in person, and ever since we kind of
Yeah, just
kept
kept in touch.
in touch, right? The same way with Patrick Chris, which we're also gonna meet in Toronto.
Mhm.
He also retired this year.
Yeah.
So it's all of those folks that kind of meet along the way and we start around the same time. And it's
Yeah.
just,
And I think that's the thing, right? And that's what we want to encourage all of you. Like, reach out, because we love talking to people, and it's sometimes hard to find people with similar interests. We're all here for each other. So reach out. We're more than happy to chat over emails or catch up over a chat, Zoom call, things like that. So reach out. Congratulations, Patrick.
yeah, that's nice. Really, really good. Yeah,
Okay.
congratulations in Colombia.
Yeah. Nice weather, better than
I
Toronto
know.
and or Canada at this
Yeah,
point. The
yeah,
spring is
yeah.
coming, so
Will Smith.
Will Smith. Scotland. Oh my God. So many years I've wanted to go to Scotland. There's so many castles and the history and the mystery. I love Scotland. Well, I love everywhere. Let's frankly. But yeah,
Thank
Scotland,
you,
we will definitely be in touch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what else? So let me see. So if you're a plane, you'll be having to balance between US and Australia. Yeah, it's not cheap. What it might be helping you is points and miles. I don't know if you are accumulating points or not, but if not, think about some sort of strategy that you can create, because you can definitely offset the cost of those trips by having credit cards, right?
Yeah.
So,
and there's also a couple of trans-Pacific repositioning cruises that might be a good option for getting back and forth as well, right? They kind of are going to follow your spring and fall timeline. So I don't know if that's going to fit into where you guys want to be traveling back and forth to, but they do make for a fairly economical way to get around, right?
Yeah, I guess that's exactly what he's saying here. Yeah, perfect.
There you go. Great minds.
Yeah. Thank you. And so he's just saying, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's always, I think that's part of the reason why we chose today, right? We wanted to offset some of the, not so great memories with a really great reason to have some happiness today as well.
Yeah.
So, but thank you very much.
Okay, Adriana, so let's keep in touch. We'll definitely try to find a way to meet you in person when we are in Canada this year.
Wave to the camera. So how do you think having your condo impacts your lifestyle as full-time travelers? Pros or cons? So we actually were talking with our community members about this not too long ago, because we really love our condo. It's a great location. When we're not there, it's rented out, so it's generating us income. But we left the condo in October.
Yeah.
And we won't be back to it for a year and a half almost.
A year and a half, yes.
So, I mean, it's great to have, but we're not utilizing it the way that we had initially. When we purchased it, we foresaw ourselves just sort of spending our time in Brazil, but that vision sort of changed after we had purchased it.
Yeah.
And we're not there as much as we had initially thought we would be there. So we have toyed with the idea of actually selling it.
Yeah.
But a couple of our members brought up the point that it's a great investment. The location can't be beat, and so it will always hold its value. I don't know. There's pros and cons, right? You still have to pay for it. It's right now cash flowing itself, so we're not out of pocket any money for it. And we have a property manager, so it kind of takes that weight off of our mind.
Yeah.
But we're not using it like we thought we would. So would that capital be better put towards other things, or is it good sitting in real estate? We kind of have to balance that out.
At the end of the day, it's just the flexibility that we have, knowing that we do have a place to stay. And there was, since we bought the condo back in 2019, right? When we were there this past year, that's when we kind of had a chance to spend more time in the condo and kind of getting used to the city. maybe because of our excitement or not, after 2 months, 2 months and a half, you're kind of thinking, you know what, let's go out and explore.
Try something different.
Yeah, try something different, which is leaving the condo behind. As Christine said, it's generating us income, but there is always the what ifs, right? The what ifs for now is keep the content. Here we are debating, is it a good idea or not? I don't know. I guess time will tell, but we keep this thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because we went to Mendoza, Argentina, and we got there and we looked at each other. We're like, oh my God, we could totally buy a place in this city. And then we looked at each other and we thought, how many times are we going to say this when we start going to more and more countries? Is there going to be places around the world that we can see ourselves also living long term? So at that point, when does it become kind of more of a, not a liability per se, but something that we're just never going to use it to the amount that we had foresaw we would. And we just, maybe it makes more sense to sell it so that we can spend more time elsewhere in the world. Right now, we're going to hold on to it, but it does come with its pros and cons.
Yeah, but that's the good thing of having
Options,
right? And exchanging ideas and coming, when having the community who basically says, why are you guys, it makes us think. That's the good thing about it. It's not saying, yes, you're good to go. We like to be challenged and say, yeah, I never thought about that. And
like Sarah, she's the one that came back with, well, after 3 years of traveling full time, you might want to just sit your butts down on a beach for 6 months. Exactly. That's true. We could really that could be a possibility. So pros and cons, but there's always
but for now it's there, so it's bringing us capital, which is good. We basically leave the money in Brazil to pay for like the monthly expenses and everything, and even after that we still have a surplus, which it kind of helps, right? Preparing for retirement, how much do you travel with?
A backpack.
So
a backpack, Jean has a backpack and then a smaller pack that he wears on his front when we're traveling. Sorry, this is in my face. That has all of our computers and camera equipment and stuff in. But our clothes, our toiletries, all of that just fits in a 40-liter backpack that's carry-on size, so we can get them onto flights. And it's worked really well. I don't think, I mean, at this point, a year in, we're tired of the clothes that we have.
You might have been tired of us looking the same throughout the years, just because that's what we carry.
But I mean, that doesn't mean that we can't go out and buy something new and get rid of something that we've had for a year, which is what we're going to do when we reach Canada. But so far, it's been great. There are some times I wish we had a checked bag. But that was more when we were in Airbnbs all the time, so that we could have, like maybe a little hand blender or a sharp knife or things like this that would just make life a little bit easier when you're in your own kitchen and space. But really, it's nothing that you can't go out and purchase for a reasonable amount of money if you get somewhere and it's not there. So we're fine with just our carry-ons. I think that you guys would be great with a roller suitcase. I'm assuming that's an overhead carry-on type roller suitcase and a knapsack. You'll be more than fine. And if it is a checked bag, you're laughing. You got all kinds of room.
But maybe what you need to consider is on your budget, especially now the airlines, they started to charge people for checked bags, right?
Or carry-ons.
For carry-ons, right? So if this is the case with you guys, you have to consider that as well, and how many you have. I remember when we were kind of coming back from Argentina, we flew from Buenos Aires to Sao Paulo last Thursday, right? And we only have our carry-ons, but we only had 3 hours between flights. So we had to disembark. Christine has to go, both of us will have to go through customs and everything within this 3-hour window. We only had our backpacks. It was easy. The most time that we spent was actually just waiting for Christine to go through customs, but everybody else waiting for their suitcases and everything. It is going to end up taking more time. To us, we bring what we need. We know everything where they are, and
Yeah, and
it
I
is
mean,
easy, right?
yeah, we've talked to some other travelers, and I mean, it's a comfort thing too, right?
Yeah.
Some people like to have certain things with them, and those might be difficult to come by different countries in the world. But so far, we haven't had any issues.
Mm-hmm.
We just buy shampoo as we need it when we get to a country. Everything we do carry is carry-on size, so we haven't run into any problems. So
No,
I think
no,
you guys will be
no.
okay. And the
No.
selling of your house, it is a little bit of a stressor. Um, in our case, once it was sold, everything was gone. The weight that we didn't have anymore with payments or just the stuff around us was quite freeing. So be interesting. Keep us posted on how you feel about
Yes.
how you feel once the house is sold.
Are you saying that you are gonna keep only using backpacks
For the
for the
foreseeable
second
future.
year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Me
I think
too.
we're going to lighten
Yeah.
them a little bit. We've already,
Yeah.
we'll kind of, maybe we'll go over that with all of you guys too. Maybe we'll do a video of
Uh-huh.
what we had and how we're changing it up because there's certain things that we're getting rid of.
Mhm. Yes.
What else here?
Yeah, so that's it. So if you guys wanted to join us on this call, you are more than welcome to do so. Just keep in mind we're recording this. We are definitely live, but
Yeah.
after we finish this live stream, YouTube kind of keeps a copy of it. So it's gonna be used for future reference if you wanted to use. Patrick, well, Patrick is the new
Retiree
the
as
new
of Friday.
retiree as of Friday. So there's this link, Patrick. If you want to kind of come and join us, click on this link that is going to ask you for like allowing your microphone, your camera, and things like this. So
And
if
in-
you are,
Yeah. In the meantime, if anybody, I think we've caught up on the questions. So if you
Yeah.
guys have any more questions, let us know.
uh-huh,
But maybe we'll take a few
Yeah.
minutes and Patrick can tell us how he's feeling. 'Cause
Yes.
It's brand new.
Ask questions for Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to say what was the highlight of the first year, what would you say?
Well, I think the highlight, there's been quite a few highlights. I think the Camino was a huge accomplishment and highlight.
Yeah.
But I think the highlights just in general, every day we wake up and we just get to decide what we want to do with our own time rather than being tied down to a certain schedule laid out by an employer or a job of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the highlight. And spending time with the family, right? We spoke about it before, but even if we had stayed either here in Brazil or back home in Canada and we're working, we would never have spent the amount of time that we have with our parents that we have this year. I haven't spent a month with my dad since I moved out of the house at 18. So you would go back for a couple hours for dinner or an overnight on the weekend, things like that, but it's not the same. So I think that's a big highlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I think Patrick's here. Patrick's dark.
Yeah. So you might be a bit dark. I don't know if you can turn a little bit of more light, Patrick, but
let's see.
Let's see. By the way, this is the first time that we are trying this, and that's the reason that we decided to invest on this software, which is to bring you guys together and because it's not about us, it's about you,
all of us, right?
Yeah. So let me see, Patrick. Okay, now I need to learn on how to do this. I'm gonna try and add to the stream. I think that's it, and I'm gonna split the live. Is that how it is?
Yeah. Hello.
There you go.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can.
We can hear you. Yeah.
So congratulations. I'm gonna
thank you. Thank you. It was the weirdest thing to hand back my laptop and my corporate phone and like be untethered from a very high stress job.
Yeah. I know it took you a little while to kind of set your date and do it. How did it feel when you handed in your resignation and said to your boss, this is my plan, here's my date?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling my boss the emotional framework, right? Because I had to build up the courage to tell my boss, then I had to tell my boss, then I had to like negotiate with my boss, then I had to go and tell all my team. And by the way, I had a team of 60 staff, and so that was an emotional roller coaster. And then you you have to also kind of manage all of the nice things most people are saying. So you're getting sad, and then a
Yeah.
week or two before it all kicks in, and you just get excited. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the feedback you were getting from people? Because you're around our age, right? Like you're young to be retiring and not working anymore. What was the feedback, the questions? What did you get from your coworkers?
Yeah. So I'm in a senior leadership role, and
Mm-hmm.
so I had to. I've had all sorts of going away coffees and lunches with senior leaders at my organization. And the first question was, "Where are you going? What organization are you going to?" And none, like, that was the number one. It was like a mystery. And I said, you know what? I'm taking I've actually told folks I'm taking a year off,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna figure things out. And a lot of folks were shocked, really
Mm-hmm.
shocked.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was interesting. I mean, once I explained that, health first, and take, seasons of life, the die with zero stuff, then they all kind of thought about it and said, wow, that's really cool. I
Yeah.
had I had people, senior leaders, emailing me saying, I'm jealous. I wish I could do what you're doing, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna be traveling. I'm think I'm gonna start a small business on the side that I can do anywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people were just really, once they understood it, they were just like kind of semi jealous, but also really got it. Right? It was really
Uh-huh.
an interesting process. Yeah.
That's nice.
Amazing. So
Good for
excited for
you.
you.
Good for you. Well, guys are excited, for you. First of all, thank you for joining us and joining on this call. We have been talking to Patrick before, and sometime, I don't know, Patrick is now free. We are gonna have an interview with Patrick where we can go through in more details, but at least you are here with us, and it's so nice. So there are a few folks who wanted to congratulate you, and we have the single parent fire. You inspire us who are still on the grinding trying to get
Free.
free.
Yeah. But you're also doing great. So
Yeah, single parent fire. We
Yeah.
had a call with you. Remember what we have said.
Yeah.
Patrick, how do you feel about it? Did you get
Uh,
inspiration for something, and maybe, I don't know, we haven't even introduced Patrick before, I don't know, I mean, the floor is yours, but I'm just gonna be quiet and just telling.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I had a very high stress job, very, very high stress. I was developing a lot chronic back pain. I have a shoulder injury. I got physio bands all over my office right now. I'm limping to the end.
Yeah.
But I feel great because now I can really have time and space. I was telling my colleagues at work, when you have these high levels, high responsibility jobs, you deprioritize yourself, right?
Mhm.
And you don't notice it, but you just do. So that blood test you were supposed to do right away takes
Mhm,
3 weeks, or all of these things that you need to be healthy kind of take a second or third level of priority, and they just accumulate, they compound. And
mhm.
so I'm just excited to really get healthy. I bought a one-way ticket to Colombia because I can. So I just bought it. My wife's coming down a week later, and she's like, "I need you to commit to coming back soon." I said, "Well, I was actually thinking of just after a month in Colombia going to Brazil for another month or something." So I'm keeping my options open, and
Yeah.
yeah, it feels great. I've been dying to get back into adventure mode, because before this high stress profession, I was a bit of a travel nomad, and so
Mhm.
I've always wanted to just take extended periods and go and live in other countries, and now I can't, right?
Amazing. I think
Yeah.
Sarah has a question for you.
Yeah. So Sarah's question is your boss's reaction and co-workers.
Yeah, we
We kind of
did
alluded
that
to
one.
this a little bit. So let's go to the next
Next
one. Let me see up here.
Aren't you a little young? Did you get that?
Kind of like I'm already young for the role I had. I'm already, I'd be in these big senior leadership committees and councils, and I was one of the younger people in the room for sure. So that was already young.
Yeah.
So, but I never told people I'm retiring, and I'm not. I'm moving on to freer ways of living, and I have some exciting projects I'm excited to kind of dig into. So I think people were shocked because when you get to these senior leadership roles,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of don't just let them go, right? You kind of hold them till either they kick you out or you move on to something bigger and better. And
Right.
so I think people were shocked more about that because I've been there for 5 years, and yeah, so yeah, a little young, but I think they're more shocked that someone would just give up something that's so hard to get, right?
But you reclaimed your time freedom, right? You get to choose now. You get to do what you're interested in and what you truly want to do, right?
Mhm.
Which is amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, super excited
Exactly.
for you. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're probably already starting to hurt.
They're hurting.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I don't know.
That's awesome. Question for you. How you are kind of just stopped working with the how do you feel about with the stuff that is going on the market right now, knowing that you have to retire, but you don't know how is the market reacting? How were you stressed? Are you already still stressed, or are you not stressed at all?
Yeah, it's a bit anxiety driving for sure. Um, I think well, I have some safety valves. Let's call them, like, when you put the safety valve, and so I have some of those. And the biggest one is my partner's still working, and
Yeah.
she also has a very good job. She's in a management role, and so she can come in and support if needed, and we've planned on that. So
Mhm.
that's one thing. The way I've structured the finances, it's a bit of a blend. So I'm getting a bunch of dividends. So I've created a monthly salary that comes monthly, basically,
Yep.
and that's more than enough. Especially when you go into other countries, it's more than enough. And then I have some rental income that comes in, and that's not correlated to the market necessarily, right?
Uh-huh.
It's less
Yep.
correlated. So I have diversified income streams. But the other thing is I worked in the public sector for almost 13 years, and so I have a DB pension,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can take that. Um, you can take it at 65, but let's just say things go sideways. I could take it earlier at 55 and not have to, sell
Yeah.
low. But I'm trying really not to even sell anything because I've created
Mhm.
that income stream.
Yeah.
And of course, my wife's Colombian, I'm Colombian too, so we can just go down. And in fact, my mother-in-law has a piece of land in this beautiful place in Colombia that we think we're going to develop now. All we have to do is just build the cabanas. So that's a
Mhm.
project we're looking at. So that's another way to kind of generate new income streams. And so, anyways, I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, so the markets are scary, but I don't want it to ruin the fun, right?
Yeah. I think it's just
Yeah,
something we all have to sort of get used to, right? And
it's not gonna be the first one nor the last one. We
yeah.
know that it's gonna happen, but as you did say, kind of having those guardrails in place with things that you can do and adjust as you go kind of gives you peace of mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can't control the market. We don't know what's gonna happen in the market. All that we can do is make sure that we do diversify. And you're just saying that how many income streams that you've created, and then you know that you can count with that as part of your strategy and what you guys are planning to do, right?
Yeah. Well, that's great. We're so excited
I
for you.
know.
And if you need any help with those cabanas, let me know because I'll come and help.
Yeah, Christine love those DIY projects. So
I can paint.
For sure. Well, I'll message you guys on updates. I'll have updates in a couple weeks.
Amazing.
Okay,
Keep us
that
posted.
sounds good. Well, thank you again. I don't know any other final words that you want to give to the folks who are still in the process, still in the journey.
Yeah, I think the grind is real, and I feel like you can't let it dominate, and you got to have some fun during the grind. And it's it feels good, but it's not as climactic. The fireworks don't go off the last day. It's kind of anticlimactic, but yeah, I would just keep going, but have some fun in between, and get out there and start tasting the future before the future arrives. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you're really going to start to see the payoff of like leaving that high stress job sooner than you think. I was the same, like the back pain, the shoulder pain, the headaches. You don't realize the impact that stress has on you and your body until it's kind of lifted off of you. And all of a sudden you start to feel 5 years younger. You have more energy. You're not tired all the time. And this pain starts to go away a little bit. So I'm excited for you to start getting a little bit healthier and stuff as well. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I'll jump off. I know you guys are going to keep going, but we'll catch up soon. And what you guys should, you have a community. You should like organize a meetup somewhere. Like
yes,
I think
we're going to start posting
Colombia,
them.
wherever.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep you posted about the Colombia. And if you want to go to Mexico instead of Brazil, we'll be in Mexico.
Oh, okay. Noted.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. And congratulations again.
Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Now I have to learn on how we can disconnect. Oh, there we go. Just disconnect and we are back.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So amazing. And I think that might be a fun thing for us to do throughout the course of these lives as well. So if anybody else, moving forward, if you guys want to come on, share your story, or if you have any questions or concerns, you want to get feedback from the community, let us know, because like Jean said, that's why we chose this particular software for our lives, so that we can have more of an interactive experience with all of you guys. We love the conversations, and based on the comments for Patrick, everybody's excited to see that others are, accomplishing this goal as well. So yeah.
And for those of you still on the grind, don't get discouraged at all. It's a journey. You have to remember and celebrate the small wins. Christine kept telling me about that, and I say, what is the next goal? What is the next goal? What is the next goal?
Stop and celebrate.
Yeah, stop and celebrate and see what you have around you, how fortunate we are. Yes, we work hard. We work hard to make sure that we can get at this position. And people sometimes they say, oh, you are not going to be able to do this. This kind of discouragement doesn't serve us any purpose at all. What we wanted to do is have a community that we can share our stories, that we can learn from each other, and show you that it is possible. When we created the channel 4 years ago, for all of the channels that we had out there, it was actually for folks who already had retired, but no one, from what I understood on our research, no one was still in the process of getting retired. So that's why we decided to create the channel. And here we are, 4 years later, 5 years later, already retired. And people say, oh, you're not able to do this? Hey, buddy, go back at the beginning of the videos and see what we were able to accomplish. Is it? No.
But so worth it. And I think so many of you, you're so close to achieving the same goals, just like we were able to in Patrick. And this year, I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've had, is that I feel I feel better this year. I'm happier,
Mhm.
less stressed. We've got to accomplish some amazing things, spend that
Mhm.
time with our family. But overall, I feel like Jean and I are less stressed than we
Mhm.
have been in decades.
Yeah, and some of the comments that we hear from you saying that, oh, you guys look, healthier. It is just the amount of the stress that we don't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Patrick was saying about his experience at his job. I still have on my lower back, and after 1 year, Christine, I mean, she's witness of the amount of stress that I had and all the
Mm-hmm.
pain that I had on my lower back. Just after 1 year, that's when things are starting to get better. Is it perfect? No, I still
Mm-hmm.
have pain once in a while, but it's actually now on me, not exercising, which is the next,
Yeah.
like phase that we need to work really hard, which is health wise and making sure that we can enjoy our time. Because
Mm-hmm.
yes, we work hard and not enjoying the time because of some sort of disability or some pain that it might be caused for you and the amount of stress that we had at work, right?
That's right. So this year 2 goal is to
Yeah.
really concentrate
Mm-hmm.
on our health. And I know we said that last year, but I think this year it's something that we need to prioritize.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
year 2
Yeah.
goal for early retirement,
Mm-hmm.
get healthy.
Yes. So you guys keep coming with the questions. If you do have any more questions, please do share in the comments below, and we appreciate. We are almost like 50 people on this chat, which is amazing. So we are so excited in be able to celebrate this special occasion with you, right? So
Yeah.
maybe we can stay for 15 minutes more. So
Yeah,
it's
if
gonna
you
be
guys have
like
any more
2
questions or if you're
hours. We are
interested in
more than,
anything.
I mean, we can stay here not all night because tomorrow we are
Speaking
gonna
of health,
have, yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of health, we're taking a little bit of an opportunity while we're here in Fortaleza to just do some general checkups, a little bit more in-depth checkup than
Mhm.
just standard blood work. So tomorrow we have to get up early and go
Yeah.
and get a bunch of ultrasounds and things done. So
Yeah.
we're already starting to work on year 2 goal of getting
I
healthy.
know.
So first step is to see where we are, get a
Yeah.
little bit of a baseline,
Uh-huh.
and then see where we need to
Yeah.
get to and
Yeah.
go from there.
So I did ask you before what would be like the top thing that you kind of achieved last year. To me, I am going to say, what question did I ask? I forgot.
What was your biggest accomplishment?
Oh,
I
my
think something
biggest
like that.
accomplishment. I think uh, I think it's spending quality time with Christine. That's one. Sometimes it's not easy. We drive ourselves. Maybe I do drive her crazy, but it's me because at the beginning, especially at the beginning, I was always thinking about what is going to be the next goal, the next goal, the next goal. And sometimes I forgot to celebrate, as we did say a few minutes ago, the small wins. And the reason to why we've done that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good when you have somebody that you can count on, that it's willing to do things or
Mm-hmm.
not do anything at all, which is part of the fun,
Yeah,
right?
that's hard. That's a hard one to learn how to do again, to not do anything at all.
Yeah, and I think that this is what Christine is learning now,
Mm-hmm.
because when, especially at the beginning, we wanted to do, not we, I think it's more Christine. It's not that I don't want to do things, but we always wanted to kind of go out and what are we going to do this, what are we going to do tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. But at the same time, we have time. If you don't see all of the sightseeing, if you don't see all of those nice things from a specific city, that's okay. We can come back, and it's a reason to
Come back to
come
us.
back to it and enjoy, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's something that we are learning,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
are working. What?
No, it's
Yeah.
exactly that, because it's
Right.
hard to go from having such a structured life to completely being your own person in charge of your time 24/7. And it's hard to reprogram your brain when it's used to having that schedule inside of it to saying, well, it doesn't matter if I don't get to the museum today, I can go tomorrow. And if you don't get there tomorrow, you can go the next day, because it's very unnatural as adults in North America to have this type of an unstructured way of dealing with your time.
Yeah.
Normally, our time is very regimented.
Yeah. Another thing. Oh, sorry.
Bye,
Another
JP.
thing-
Thank you for coming.
Bye. Thank you, JP. And also, yeah, it's also 2 a.m. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're in
thank you,
Portugal.
JP. And Nick,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very much. You appreciate it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think it's important is to do something once you retire. You have to find ways that is gonna bring you joy. You have to find ways that you can contribute in some way. The way that we're finding this is through the channel. We keep ourselves busy, but we are also learning on not letting YouTube take us as a full-time job, because yes, it is a full-time job, but what we have been trying to do more and more is to find some sort of balance and keep ourselves busy. Because if you don't know what we are going to do, you are going to end up being maybe bored of not being able to do anything, and you might have to go back and work, which is totally fine if this is what you wanted to do.
Yeah, but only because you're trying to fill that time.
Yeah, but it's just because you wanted to fill that time. So try to find something that is going to bring you joy. I am excited for something else that is coming, because since we started, 1 year since we retired, we are comfortable with speaking Portuguese, English, and Spanish. Throughout this last year, that's basically all the language that we had to speak. And we are fortunate because we both speak Spanish, English, and Portuguese. Christine learning Portuguese more and more. Mom is not here. Mom is not listening to that. But Christine's Portuguese is getting better. What is going to fill my time and what I'm trying to do now is I have an app on my phone, which is Duolingo, and I'm trying to learn Greek, at least a few words. And I'm also, once we go through Greece and after we go to Bulgaria and Thailand, it's at least say a few words.
Yeah.
It is keeping me busy and learning another language, so which is occupying our time as well.
Occupying our time, but it's also kind of giving your brain a little bit of a workout, because if you stop working, sometimes that the thinking mechanism, doesn't quite get the exercise that it needs as well, right? So I think trying to learn the languages and educating ourselves on, places to go, things to see and do, planning that kind of stuff is also keeping our minds active as well.
And it's not that we don't do anything. Even traveling full time, it does take quite a while to pick the places that we wanted to go. There are a lot of planning involved in doing that, and selecting the location and selecting which area we are gonna be traveling to. It does take a lot of time, and the fact that we do have time, we can kind of accommodate and find that balance, right? Laurie's question.
Do we share one cell phone and one laptop now?
No.
We each have a cell phone and we each have a laptop. So Jean's laptop is much bigger and heavier, but his is the one that we do the editing on. So we really need that one. And then mine is just, what is this little laptop called?
It's a Microsoft Surface, which is more for browsing.
Yeah, it's almost like a tablet. But it's perfect because this is the one that we use for just the planning, right? Like we can run all sorts of searches, we can do the bookings and all this on this particular laptop. And then we use Jean's more for the videos and stuff like that, because it has a bigger processor. But we have two. And we'll probably still continue to carry two, just because we each need to be doing different things at different times. If Jean's working on a video, then generally I'm trying to plan, book accommodations, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Do a little bit of the travel planning or vice versa.
Play around with the spreadsheets and everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So.
Right? Okay. Sarah's question.
Oh, thanks,
thank you,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Well, thank you. And I know we said this before, but we really do want to say a huge thank you to all of you. It means a lot. We come on here and we talk to this camera, but every comment that comes through, every email we get from you guys, or the chance we get to talk to you all in person, it really does mean the world to us, because it might seem like we've been up here talking about our journey, but we still have questions. We still are unsure sometimes of what we're doing, or we want to have that back and forth conversation with people too. And that's what this channel has given us. And we really hope that it's also provided all of you with that opportunity as well to ask the questions and get some feedback in your own journeys. So thank you for all of your support and coming along on the journey.
Yeah. Tracy also says hi.
Hey, Trace.
Yeah, Tracy is another member that we had on our channel for quite some time. I just need to make a small change up here, and I'll bring you the question. 1 second. Is from, sorry about.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, so I think Jan's just editing something here. So give us 2 seconds and he's going to pop it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Because I think somebody was asking a question about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
55. Oh, October, just around the corner.
Yeah.
So this one's easy. We use Safety Wing. Safety Wing for us has been really great. You can modify it for the dates you need it. So if you need it for 3 days, you buy it for 3 days. If you need it 3 months, you buy it for 3 months. We started our policy last year on April 20th when we left Canada, and it's just been continuously going. It just renews on its own every month until we stop it. Yeah. So I think Jean just put the link up there if you're interested in it. We use the Nomad insurance. There's 2 separate ones now. They've kind of they have a bit of an upgraded plan if you're interested in it. We're okay with it right now because that plan involves like cancer coverage and things like that we don't really need at the moment. So we're still just using the more basic Nomad insurance, but so far it's been everything that we would need to use if we did need it.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. Oh, thank you, Tracy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Fire.
Dr. Fire. Thank you.
Better late than never.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. We have another question from Sarah.
Listening to the live stream, I am voting in our
I'm voting in our local election.
So, as many people know, Canada has just called a federal election. And Jean and I will not be home. It is the end of April.
For the 28th,
right?
Yeah.
Today, in fact, so Friday, we contacted the embassy in Mexico City to see if we could use the embassy as a mailing address. And today we just filled in our international application to vote. So we will be able to vote. Our ballots are being mailed to the embassy in Mexico City. So when we're in the city, we'll go to there, we'll vote, and they will look after sending them back by the deadline for us so that we'll be able to make sure our ballots are counted. But we definitely vote. I think that's one of the biggest things. I don't think you should use traveling as an excuse to say, I can't vote. We're all very lucky to live in the countries we do, and those countries come with responsibilities as citizens. And one of our greatest responsibilities is choosing the governments that we have. And so we will never take voting for granted and do everything in our power to make sure we're able to vote each and every election.
Yeah, we will. Changing our sex as well. You also stopped working, Dr. Ninja.
Stopped working. However, if I'm correct, you've just purchased 2 more properties, or in the process of purchasing even more. So I feel like you stopped working, but you're now working on your passion project, which is your real estate. So congratulations to you, because you're doing great.
Yeah, 100%. And I know that he is another one we started a project. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but the last person that we did interview was actually Kyria. If you have not seen her interview yet, go and take a look. She stopped working and she is also traveling. So go and see her interview. And Patrick, which was
just on,
he's gonna be interviewed in the same way with Dr. Ninja. He is also another person that we're gonna be an interviewing, and we also have Tracy. I don't know if Tracy is listening, but also another one.
So throwing it out there, if anybody is interested, send us an email, because I think, as we saw when Patrick came on to chat, people are interested. We all want to hear each other's stories, because everybody's story is different and unique. And each one of us may have tips that others can use to help them succeed as well. So whether you're retired, you're still on your way, it doesn't matter. If you're interested, reach out, because we would love to hear from you and share your story with others.
Yeah, you don't even need to be retired. You could be in the process of retiring. You could be still in the journey. So all we wanted to hear is, get to know you and share your story, because as you just said, we keep learning from each other, right? So Northwest Coast, he or she, the riding that you vote in?
Well, this is our first federal election abroad. So we'll see. I'm assuming that, because we had to put in our home address when we applied online, so we're going to get the candidates on our ballot for our home address back in Ontario. But we'll keep you posted. We'll see if that's any different. But as far as I know, the ballot's going to come with the candidates from our riding back home.
Yeah. So we have been for 2 hours. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you very much for staying and sticking with us. We are more than happy to stay here, but maybe let us know if you guys have any other and final questions that we can answer. And if no other questions, we will disconnect and give you your time
evening back.
Yeah. And we appreciate it, because you have so many things going on and getting ready for your week. And just taking the time to spend with us here tonight, it means a lot. So thank you.
Huge thank you. This year's been fantastic. I don't think either one of us would change a thing. There's been some things that haven't gone right travel-wise, and the ups and downs of life in general. But overall, I think our first year of retirement has far exceeded our expectations, and we're super excited to see what next year is going to bring for us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's it. So I think if everybody's good, if there's no other questions, it looks like people are wrapping it up. Thank you so much. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Northwest. Thanks, Malgorzetta. I hope I said that right. I love that name. Any questions? If we didn't get to your questions, or you didn't have a chance, or you think of something later, put it in the comments. We read every comment and we'll respond to it. Or if we think it needs a video, we'll do a video.
And there is no AI or anything. When I say we, not me, Christine is the one who...
we do it together.
99% of the comments, Christine is the one who answers them. So...
because I think, that's how we get to know you guys, is through your comments too. So I love reading them. I think that's one of my best parts of my day, actually, is going through the comments.
Because you take the time to write us comment, and you deserve to be answered. And that's what we do. So we do appreciate that. Right? Okay, Sarah, I'm going to say hi from all of you guys, and I'll let her know.
All right, guys, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week with the budget.
That sounds like a good plan.
It's going to be a good one, so make sure you see it.
Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Stay safe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Please send our video the list of things to do before retire.
Okay.
We will look for it.
Okay, Lori, I'm going to start preparing. This is going to take a few more days because I have to make some adjustments. I have a spreadsheet, but I just... got a few things, but wait, and we'll get it available to you.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon.